aboard. Come on in. We got space for y'all. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
How was your day, dear?
So this is for Matt, right? Matt, right?
Kevin. Just kidding.
Ah, shucks. Couldn't get you, could I? Moment of truth.
I'll be mad if it gets me where I'm going.
My name is Biniam. Listen, just a quick heads up, you guys. I do something unusual in my Uber. I live stream, so just careful what you share. I don't share anything that could incriminate you in any way. Am I saying welcome back to Calgary or welcome to? Welcome to Calgary. From where?
Thank you.
The thriving metropolis. And it's different over there, isn't it?
Less snow.
Less snow. We've had quite a bit of fog lately as well. Like you're gonna notice a lot of hoarfrost. I don't know. Have you guys had that over there?
No.
No. Okay. It's a pretty time when you're coming. It is chilly, right? It's kind of cool, but pretty. I guess that's what I can offer.
Okay, it's gonna warm up when we leave.
Oh, is that how it happens?
Yeah.
Is that tomorrow?
Sometimes.
Just a short visit for y'all then, eh?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Lovely. And not your first time, of course.
First time in winter.
In the winter. Okay. Yeah, welcome to it. Do you see the hoarfrost on the trees and the fence there? It's like really thick at the moment. Yeah, it's
just the mist lands on stuff.
Yeah, it's like ice fog is what they call it, and it has crystals. And Quinn, how do you do?
Good.
Nice to enter your left.
That'd be me.
Andy?
Mandy.
Mandy. And you are?
Elma.
Elma? Nice to meet you all. Like I said, mine's Biniam. We had quite a thick fog here like the last. Isn't that amazing that you can do, right?
You always wonder when you're coming out of the cloud
Yeah.
where you're going to end up.
Oh. I guess today you could see a little bit when you were coming down, eh?
A little bit, yeah.
Because like if it were this morning, it was all the way to the ground. So you probably wouldn't have seen anything till the lights of the buildings, I guess.
And as a passenger, you don't really think about it. You just gotta trust they know what they're doing and you'll get where you need to go.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're probably missing all the pleasures of Black Friday shopping today, though. No. Me neither. I stopped by at the mall just to drop someone off, and at two different malls, parking is non-existent right now. It's devastating.
There's an outlet mall by the Vancouver airport.
Yeah.
And there was a lineup just to get into the parking lot. It did not look like a fun time.
So, Black Friday, how comparable is it to Boxing Day?
Boxing Day used to be much bigger.
Okay.
Used to be.
That's the one where people would line up like all night outside, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Just to get
Which is a big deal on a Christmas night, right? Like,
just to get a TV
dedication.
or
Right. Yeah. Golly.
Back in the day, I used to work in one of those stores that people would line up for.
Yeah.
So I would work Boxing Day. Quite chaotic. But, everyone was in a good mood. So.
Oh, okay. One of my passengers earlier, she's a young gal, but she was on her way to work at Toys R Us today. So she was just bracing herself for, what goes on there. But we had a good talk actually about like how she maintains mental health in the midst of all that. And I thought, wow, good on you. And for 20-something, I was quite impressed. But I saw this meme. I don't know if you've seen this one here, Quinn, but this meme that has like the price on a few different days. So it's like $89.99 for this item. The next day it's $89.99 on Boxing Day or on Black Friday. It said $89.99 with the regular price crossed out at $120 or something like that. And it's like, wow. And apparently that happens in some places. I was like shocked. I was like, oh, talk about psychology being used against you, right?
As long as you think you're getting a deal.
Right. Oh yeah. That was surprising to see. how do y'all know each other?
Family and friend.
My friend, cool. You're the one that makes sure everyone behaves.
Following along.
The chaperone, not the stuff. I
That's
see.
needs to be.
Nice. So how did you guys meet as friends then? Like as neighbors perhaps, or? Cool. I drove a party last night to their destination and they're celebrating his birthday. So yeah. 50 is still pretty significant, right?
That's pretty good. 90-year-olds knowing how to Uber.
She was the main eventer coming too. Quinn, are you an only child?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know what that's like. I'm the oldest of 22.
Wow.
I
Seriously?
kid. I'm so sorry. That was unbelievable from the start, right? But no, I'm the oldest of 6 in my family. And yet the difference in age between me and my youngest is 22 years. Quinn, how old are you, if I may? 14, so grade 9 this year?
Yep, great.
Okay. Yeah, 22 years difference. And this year she's half my age.
Tough to relate to. 22 years difference?
Yeah, well, actually, so there's two groupings. So when we moved to Canada, it was me and my 2 brothers. And then in my teens is from when my mom and dad had the second batch of 3, and into my 20s, of course. But I'd worked with kids for a very long time, and so I felt when I was with the first 2, I was a rotten brother. I was just, thinking back on it, it's painful. It's like, ooh. But when the younger 3 came along, I sort of found some maturity somewhere along the way, and I was like, I'd like to do this better. And so it was a lot of fun growing alongside them. And now they're grown up, and it's just just seeing that whole transformation of them growing up has been really cool. So my first sister was born, Queen, when I was your age. So if you can imagine like having a younger sibling at this point in time, yeah, that's what it was like. And then people would ask, I thought you were too young to have kids, Binyam. I'd be like, no, they're my siblings. Yeah. Yes, I don't know your experience, Quinn, but
It's nice.
it is.
It's quiet.
And you don't have to share. Yeah.
Where did you move from?
I don't mind you asking. You mean like to Canada?
To Canada,
I grew up in Kenya,
Yeah.
but I was born in Ethiopia. Yeah. Once upon a time. Yeah, I was young when we moved here, though, like 8 years old. Yeah. And you guys have all been in Vancouver all your lives?
Yep.
I grew up in Kamloops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just down the street from y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember driving into Vancouver whenever we did, and Kamloops is different from Vancouver. Kamloops is like really dry, sagebrushy, right?
Yeah.
But coming into Vancouver, a huge contrast where everything is lush, like the greenery on the side. I was just mesmerized about how how dense it is in its greenery, right? I thought it was really pretty that way.
Once you get used to the rain, it's
I don't know how I'd respond. Like, how do you guys? Okay, so
we live like mushrooms.
I see. So in essence, you endure it. Fine. It's fine.
But we do notice it when you travel, and everywhere else feels really dry.
Yeah.
Until
Oh, I
you
see.
get back into the air of Vancouver, and
Yeah.
then it's like you can feel the moisture just kind of seep back into your skin.
And you feel that in a good way.
Yes.
Gotcha. So whereas over here, you just need to apply chapstick and moisturize
Yes.
more often. Okay. Gotcha. Does that mean like when you go to like the swimming pool, you prefer the steam room over the sauna?
that's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Because like
Not with sauna.
not with the saunas, because saunas are very. The sauna is like dry. It's hot and you sweat, but it's dry, right?
Steam, when it's hot and wet, it's sometimes.
Oh. It's quite dense that way with the steam. that's too humid. Got it. Like, like that.
Rainforest chocolate.
Ah, it could be like that, eh? Huh.
Mr.
That's what you don't have in Vancouver.
Not too many,
No.
Maybe like 3.
which is problematic. But
But they're really just like pickup trucks that they put like a plow on top and then they just drive.
And that's it, eh?
yeah.
Huh. So those guys are pretty popular when it does snow, I imagine.
Yeah.
When it snows in Vancouver, the city just kind of shuts down.
Shuts down.
Because no one knows how to drive.
I've been in the midst of that, like, yeah, on occasion, and yeah.
Yeah, it's all wet, slippery stuff too.
And Vancouver's quite hilly.
Very
Like,
kind
it
of.
has a lot of, like, so that's trouble. I know the Coquihalla now has imposed laws on mandatory winter tires.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was driving back home last November from a visit because my brothers live there, the police had a check stop and they funneled us all through there checking all of our tires. And if you passed, they gave you a jug of ice freeze, a windshield washer and a little scraper for the troubles.
Nice.
It was, yeah. So they were, yeah, quite serious about that apparently. But a flight is far more, at this time of year, better than dry. And it's just an hour flight, right? Yeah. That explains the small luggage.
And the short trip.
And the short trip. There we are, yes. That also makes sense too.
Yeah, it's kind of nice with the ultra cheap fares that you don't even, not allowed to use the overhead.
Oh, I see. Really?
Yeah. You can get fares that just under your seat.
Oh, wow.
luggage.
Okay, that's where, okay. Stowaway kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
As long as you can travel light, you're good.
Yeah. That's almost like a skill for travelers, eh? Like, to pack efficiently.
We don't take that much north to go to Europe. So.
Okay. Oh, really?
We went to Italy for 2 weeks
Wow.
on the backpack like that.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's summertime, so
Yes. It makes a difference when you have to bring winter wear.
Quinn, what sort of things do you fancy in school?
I like science. Foods.
You're one of those, eh?
Yeah.
Science and I never made friends. In fact, in university, my second degree was in sciences, and even before I signed up for that as my degree, I knew that we weren't friends. And yet I still did it.
Yeah, I was
because-
gonna say, what prompted you to do that?
Well, at the time, my first degree was in English with accounting, and I said, this is not what I want to do with life. So I took some sober reflection, and I considered, what do I want to do? And I thought, I want to help people. What better way? I was very narrow-minded at the time, but I'm like, what better way to help people than be a doctor? But there's no way to be a doctor without sciences. And so I thought, let me just endure is the word I use. Let me endure this program. I'll work hard, get through it, get through med school, get through residency. Eventually, at some point, the learning will be over, right? And then I'll get all the things I need to do the job that I think I'll love. It was at the end of that degree that I discovered a few things. Number one, doctors are enthusiastic about science.
Yes.
I wasn't still at the end of that. I mean, it's double the coursework. I'm not trying to intimidate you, Quinn, at all. It's double the coursework in your. You've got your classes, and then you've got an additional course with the labs,
Yes.
which is like double the work, right? And then for fun, the doctors read like journals. I was like, I'm still not finding this pleasurable. They go to conferences like to find out what's new. I'm like, there's more to learn. And they're like, well, yeah, it keeps on going, right? And then I also discovered that critically, doctors don't actually spend a lot of time with patients. In fact, they spend a lot more time in research and keeping up with that. And I was like, this is an imbalance I didn't perceive when I first started. And so that's went my high hopes in science. But go ahead.
I like chemistry more than biology. Biology makes me very squeamish. I don't think I want to be a doctor.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. And then what's your take on physics?
haven't done a lot.
I haven't done much.
No, right? Okay, yeah, I've yet to experience that. I met some.
bridges, building bridges and
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Basic stuff.
So when you think of sciences, especially in the chemistry, there's a lot of math involved, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where you're trying to balance out equations and stuff. And you might, do you have like an actual like molecular kit too, or no? Not yet.
No.
No. Okay.
I'm not actually in chemistry yet.
Oh, okay. But you're looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
She's a fan of the
Amazing.
periodic table.
Ah. Oh, really? Sometimes when I tell people what my name is, they think I'm one of the elements on the periodic table. Because when I say binium, they're like, oh, like beryllium. I'm like,
Oh.
no, binium. So I have to correct them that way. That's pretty cool, though. So sciences. Anything else besides sciences?
I'm thinking. I like art, but I'm not taking it right now.
Okay. What kind of art? Like painting?
Drawing.
Drawing. Like with pencils?
Yeah, pencils.
Cool. Did you like learn from like books that taught you how to draw, or just on your own?
Yeah, I did both.
Both ending.
Just like the books that are like for students and then
And the things you particularly enjoy drawing, what are they?
characters.
Cool. Not cartoons, alright? Or cartoons. Because there's like realism art, right? Like where you
I
draw.
don't really do those.
Little
Nah.
in between.
Okay, got it. There's this guy I watch on TikTok, and he does realism art with pencils, and it's just so, it's almost like the quality of a photograph. It's like that. It's amazing to watch. And I thought it was an amazing skill, but then someone recently was telling me how they don't relate to realistic art because you don't have as much creativity, they said. You're just basically doing an exact impression. Whereas what they were more interested in is just the explorative, like expressive side. And they're saying in realism art, as good as it is, and they value it, but they said it's just not their set. And I never considered that. Realistic art, you're just kind of bound. Artistically, you express yourself through drawing. Pretty cool. How about you? How do you express yourself artistically?
Not really an artistic guy. That's interesting.
True, but like, would you say there's ways that you are skilled at, I don't know, telling? I'm not sure. What do you do for work?
In telecommunications engineer.
Gotcha. Oh golly, engineering is another one that I'm like,
Of course, that.
got it. It's Ella, right? Ella?
No, Elma.
Elma. There you go. Oh. Do you remember mine, Elma?
Sorry?
Do you remember mine?
Your
I'm-
name?
Yes.
Binium.
Nicely done.
Periodic table.
Well done. Well done. That's awesome. Okay, what way do you express yourself artistically?
Oh, gosh.
I like thinking outside the box. So like one of the ways, somebody would say I'm musical. That could be one. So I play the trumpet. I love to dance. That's another way I could. But you know what I think of when I think of myself expressing artistically? Conversation. Like as an art form, right?
Yeah.
I see it like a blank canvas with people who I collaborate with, and we started off with nothing on there. But here, like, I know so much about you guys already just in conversation, just because we're contributing.
Yeah.
So that's like an expressive form that I would say is art, right? I think of an accountant, for example. That might be my first degree that I didn't resonate with. But I think of accounting as a way of telling a story with numbers in ways that others are like, oh, I didn't see that, but now
Just can't be too creative.
you can't. True.
Just don't get caught.
True. Yes, that's true. Yes. But even then, they could tell the story of here's the pathway this would take if you went down this way, right? Versus, yeah.
Same with sales, I guess.
Yeah,
Sales
absolutely.
projections.
Yeah, I would totally say yes to that too. You know, there's a way that I think when I see the world, and I'm like, there's so much expressive interpretation in the way that we engage, right? Like we don't come at things similarly, and so it's those unique flares that I guess it get intertwined in the context of community that makes it memorable in some unique ways, right? Yeah.
My arts through sports. I'll say that.
Nice. Which sport?
Frisbee. Ultimate frisbee.
Ooh, that's a pretty cool sport.
It's fun. Yeah.
That's like where you're on a team
Yep.
and you're trying to keep it from the other team
Yeah.
and trying to get
It's thrown around on the
Yeah.
field together.
and throwing the frisbee in a way that's controlled,
Yes.
which it doesn't make sense to people who are like, you just it's like no, yeah. That's pretty cool. How long have you done that for?
Like 25 years.
Oh goodness. Okay. I really have forgotten your name behind me. I'm so sorry.
Mandy.
Thank you. I remember now. As you've watched him indulge in ultimate frisbee these many years, has it incited curiosity on your part, or you're like, no, that's
No,
his
that's his
thing? That's pretty cool. What's your thing, Mandy?
My thing bores a lot of people. I'm into genealogy.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah. Like your own personal one, or just in general?
I started off with my own personal one,
Yeah.
and now I just enjoy the actual process of research and
Yeah.
figuring out stories.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of volunteer stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's like detective work.
Yeah, like forensics, kind of.
Yes.
Why is that important to you?
I like being able to find answers to things, or
Yeah.
to pull a thread and see where
Yep.
it goes.
I see. I see. Cool.
Do you do any volunteer basis or what's
Yeah. Pretty much. I do like some shared trees online, and also like I've done stuff for the locals families as well. You get limited sometimes depending on where a lot of family history happens. So if it's a new country that I've never researched before, it would suddenly be a long learning experience. It would take me a long time to get up to step with it. But when it's things that I have some historical knowledge of or have researched already, it gets me easy.
That's really cool. What's something you know in that field that most people don't know?
Family stories
Yeah.
are great stories, but they very infrequently come out. Like, you can't prove those stories. They're usually a tale that's been told.
Oh, I see.
So anytime I have set out to try and prove a story,
Yeah.
it usually ends up disproving,
Oh, I see.
right? Which, is fine if you go with it
Yeah.
knowing that that's a possibility,
Yeah.
then yes.
I see. And so there's a science to this, isn't there?
It's pretty in-depth research.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're saying the stories that you come up with can sometimes be disproven by the science you're utilizing to.
By the sources of
By
the things at the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, to give you an example,
Yeah.
there was a like a grandmother's cousin's family in, I don't know, North Dakota or something.
Yeah.
They had a story where their great aunt and uncle got married in Haiti,
Okay.
and that was a story that they kept passing on, or
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
And so when researching it, you find the family, you find
Yeah.
the people involved, you
Yeah.
find that they got married,
Yeah.
and then find news stories about them.
Yeah.
But it's not because they were in Haiti. It was because they got married secretly
Oh wow.
in the state next door.
Oh wow.
I don't know how that morphed into they went to Haiti to get married, but that's the way family stories can sometimes
Intrigue.
be the wrong way around.
Indeed. Now, most people would be probably more attentive to and interested in, say, like a royal family lineage, and that probably has like a whole team of like people who do what you do on top of that, right?
Yeah.
But yours is more in line with everyday common people.
Oh, I have no exciting people in armors, and that, like, even if I try and come up with something, and
Yeah.
it's just nope. They also farmed. They
Interesting.
sold their farm.
Yeah.
They did this. As far as I can tell, all in the UK as well. So I had to go back to the late 1600s
Yeah.
to find someone who was not a farmer, and he was a ferryman.
This is
A ferryman. He ran a ferry boat across the
across
river
the boat.
in
Yeah,
Sweden,
yeah.
and it's the only actual profession-like thing that I came across. Everyone else is just land.
That's some in-depth digging. I'm impressed.
Sweden has a lot of very good records,
Okay.
and they go back quite a ways.
And they're accessible.
They are accessible.
Because I'm just imagining you coming to Kevin and saying, I need to like take a trip for work. It may seem exotic, it may seem suspicious, but this is really important.
Yes. No, I'm all about detective work online right now. And
Oh, I see.
don't do a lot of travel.
Okay.
A lot of church records.
I was even stymied trying to find,
What is it called?
yeah, like Toysam and different things. And so, but I don't have access or the knowledge to even read like the text and that sort of thing. So I was just trying to find it through Canadian records, like even just like looking over those records. It was almost impossible. So I was very limited on my success on that tree. So
Isn't it? It's like so intriguing. When does this go wrong for you?
when does it go wrong?
Yeah.
When you sink a lot of time into it.
But are there ever like experiences where you're like, oh crap, this just blew up in a way like, yeah, where it was really
I
disappointing.
haven't blown up anyone else's lives. When I've done some research figuring out my DNA cousins
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I have figured out a lot of interesting events within my own
Sure.
tree.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, you found records where people aren't related to the people they think they're
Oh
related to.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. See, the other thing I was just thinking, a few days ago was with a rider, and he was mentioning how sorry about that. He mentioned how he did this project, and it turns out like what was that guy's name who went? He was from Siberia, no, Moldova. Anyway, he went and conquered so many places, but he wreaked havoc wherever he went. Yeah, Genghis Khan. And they were saying like with him, he like wherever he went, he like basically raped a lot of the women, and they had kids. And so there's so many descendants, for example, from this individual. And so for an individual like finding out that their line may go back to someone like this, and like, oh, and they have like one of those moments where like, I wish I had known that or something like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of times when you're doing research like that, you
Yeah.
find that families intermarried with one another quite
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
There's actually a term called pedigree collapse. And
What's that?
pedigree collapse.
Interesting. And
So
why
where
did
you think that you have,
Yeah.
your 8 branches of grandparents, but
Yes.
it turns out that enough of them are related to each other that
Yeah.
suddenly you have 3 very confusing branches.
Wow.
Things like that.
Interesting.
The other thing too is if you research a tree big enough, you
Yeah.
eventually will find someone who's been to jail for one
Something.
reason or another.
Yeah. Well, you found out all those details, I guess, along the way.
News stories and whatnot.
Hmm.
Prison records online are actually really good, so if you can find someone who did go to prison, you can sometimes get a photo of them and stuff.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
But this doesn't involve any DNA.
I can do both. I've done DNA research with mine, but when you're doing just genealogical research, it's paper trails.
Right.
And that doesn't always match up,
Mhm.
right? But you can follow the paper trail, and that's usually what the family story is. And then you can follow the DNA trail, and that's a kind of a different process.
So how long, like, how did you get into this?
I got a DNA test for a Christmas present
Oh wow. Okay.
and started to research it. And my mom was adopted, so I had no idea what her family was.
Ah.
And so I started trying to figure that out.
Hmm.
And it snowballed from there because I actually found that I actually enjoyed
Yeah.
the research part.
Was this all before you met Kevin?
No, after.
After you met Kevin? And what was the previous thing that you were invested in? You see how what I'm doing here and following this train?
I used to be artistic too back
Okay.
in the times.
Okay.
In the before times.
Yeah.
Yes, I did the photorealistic
Oh
drawing.
wow. Okay.
Yes.
So you're the one that gave that mantle onto Quinn.
I think there's enough artistic people in my side of the family.
Okay.
Could have come from anybody.
Gotcha. Emma, do share what your indulgences are.
Sorry,
What are your indulgences?
I'm mostly left brain.
Left brain.
Yeah,
What
no,
what does that mean?
analyzing.
Oh, I see.
Just,
Gotcha.
I like looking at stocks and trying to teach myself to read charts.
Yeah.
That's just more recent.
Gotcha. So very analytical.
Yeah.
Now, when I hear analytical, I contrast that with emotional. Is that a fair thing? Like to say that you're more analytical than emotional?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense. And you don't make decisions based on feeling, for the most part.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know.
I've often wondered where I fit on that spectrum too. I'm intrigued because on the one hand I feel I'm analytical, but I feel like my analytical side that has to make sense of like the world around me moves to the zone of my emotions playing within the analytical hemisphere. So I pictured like the analytical sets the boundaries, and then my emotional feels free to like run around and do all the things in that zone.
Do you analyze what inspires you, or are you
I
inspired
do.
by what you analyze?
I do. Oh, whoa. Let me just reconsider what you just said there. Ask
Which
that
leads
again.
to the other. The analytics is the
Yeah,
inspiration, or the reverse?
the initial investment is the analytical.
Okay.
And that because that's where I find my safety zone of like order, I guess, right? Because I really enjoy the emotional or the playful aspect, but I only let that out to play when I understand where the parameters are. Yeah.
Build your box and then play it.
Exactly. If I were to play and then figure out the analytical, I perceive there would be a lot more challenges that I'd have to navigate around or undo, perhaps. Yeah. That's a good question. I appreciate that one.
It's funny about Calgary is I have no sense of
Direction.
where.
Oh, I see. So what
There's
happened?
no mountains, no.
Oh, there is, like, well, we would be able to see it when we come down the hill here, dear.
Are we going south right now?
We are heading west now. So what we're basically, we went to the other kitty corner of the city. Where their plane landed was the northeast corner of Calgary. We just came to the northwest corner of Calgary now. The northeast leads you straight up to Edmonton if you keep going out that way. This one here is going to lead you, if you keep going out this way, west, towards BC. So we're in the northwest corner, and this is that way, basically. If I show you on the map here, let's see here. So over here is where we came from, in this corner here. That gray patch there is the airport, and we just came straight over to this corner here. And this is the rest of the city down here. So yeah, come down this way. You'll be able to see the mountains way on the horizon in the west there. But we've got a lovely fog to enjoy in the meantime.
They
Yeah.
feel more distant than in Vancouver, where they're like kind of looming over you.
Right. And that's what I was explaining to a previous passenger that I had. The difference for me, growing up in BC, even in Vancouver, are courteous enough to be on the horizon where I can enjoy them, but within an hour I can choose to have them invade my space at will, if you will.
I feel like the mountains are part of my personal space.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that it's like the person feels more or less claustrophobic when they're there in the space. Yeah, I get that.
What took you to Calgary?
My studies did. Yeah. So after my science degree, I went and did English and philosophy, fell in love with the arts, and then I came out here to carry on further studies. Yeah. I eventually found my way. But that's why I'm so thrilled for you, Quinn, that you actually know where you actually, like what you enjoy now.
I'm also like really into like world building and stuff.
Tell me more.
Because like for my stories, I like to like learn about things through like research for stories. Like different characters have different abilities that I inspire after like real world science stuff.
Yeah.
So I like learn things through that.
It seems to me like you might also do really well in role-playing games too.
Yeah, I play a bit of D&D.
You do, right?
Yeah, not in a school club anymore. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of that goes on there too, right? World building somewhat.
Character design.
Yeah.
I think it's more constrained and like on your own.
Yeah,
Imagination.
yeah, I like to
Ah.
like just
Like, I see. Make your world. Gotcha. That's cool. We are getting there.
It feels familiar. Oh, I don't.
yeah, I don't know.
Alma, you've been here before too?
I have only visited just once.
Once.
But it was at playground.
Ah, that you recognized. I see.
At the home too.
We were here a few months ago. So.
Oh, you are? Okay. Now this...
2 years ago.
Oh.
It was. I think he's moved on to a different one. Or wait, maybe next year.
I think it's like a high school going to university.
They do middle school differently, so I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I feel like that'd be too complicated if you're just going to middle school and then high school, but also elementary school.
But you
So in BC, they finish elementary at what grade? 7. That's what I thought. Here they finish it like at 6, and then from 7 to 9ish, I think is like middle school or something like that. It totally screwed me up. I was so confused. So yeah, I'm more with you, Quinn. What makes sense is
just grade 10 to 12.
10 to 12 for senior high school. Yeah.
It's kind of funny though when you go to like high school in
Yeah.
BC because like all the younger kids they look so tiny. They look like 4th graders now. And then all like the grade 12s look like adults.
But you don't remember when you were like one of those small kids looking up at these big...
All last year.
Oh, okay. Because you're pretty tall now, eh, Quinn?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". Are you still growing as well?
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. To be determined.
I don't really want to get much taller now.
No, you're good as you are.
She used to be the tallest in her class.
Oh, really, eh?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, people are trying to get taller than me again, and I'm so happy. The other guys mostly, but my girlfriends are also getting a little bit taller.
You know what I say to guys who are my friends that are taller than me? I tell them, I'll always look up to you. And then the ones that are shorter than me, I'm like, so what's it like to always have me looking down on you? And yeah, you can tell I'm struggling to make friends, but nonetheless. Shucks. Somewhere around here. eh?
Somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here. Let me make sure. Oh, cool. We made it. Not that I was concerned we weren't gonna, but nice to meet you all. Let me help you carry your bags.
Alright, thank you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Both of these, okay. Hey friends. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? My windows are all foggy and frosty. Okay, I think my end of the day has just arrived. I am so thrilled to hang out with you guys for a bit. Thank you for hanging out. Let me see if I can catch up with some of the comments. Jackson, hello. How are you? Haidfa, I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, so that's where I live. And Motivate, I see you. Thanks for being here. Friends, I'm gonna sign off for the day. I'm gonna come back on actually in a few hours, so let's see here. 11 o'clock my time is currently 4:45, so about 11 o'clock I'm gonna come back on and drive through the night. So if you're up in your part of the world and you would love to join in on the live streams again, I would be delighted for your company. But thank you for hanging out for a bit with me. I bid you all a fantastic weekend if I don't see you. But if I see you, it'll be my pleasure to have you come along. Bye for now, friends.